Hello, and welcome to the Legacy Stories. Today, we bring you the powerful and emotional journey of a man who changed the world not just through his roles, but through his courage. A man who became a symbol of strength, hope, and quiet heroism, Chadwick Boseman. From humble beginnings to becoming Black Panther, Chadwick's story isn't just about fame. It's about purpose. It's about how one man used every breath he had to inspire millions, even when life was slipping away from him. So, stay tuned till the end, because this is the story of a true hero, Chadwick Boseman, the hero who fought in silence. And if you're new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of people who turned pain into power. Chadwick Aaron Boseman was born on November 29, 1976, in Anderson, South Carolina. His family wasn't rich, but they were filled with love and faith. His mother, Carolyn, was a nurse, and his father, Leroy, worked hard in a textile factory. Chadwick grew up in a community that taught him the value of struggle, dignity, and faith. He was quiet but thoughtful, always observing, always curious. In school, Chadwick wasn't just interested in sports or popularity. He loved stories about people who fought for justice, stories that had meaning. That love led him to art, and art led him to purpose. When he was in high school, something happened that would change his life forever. One of his classmates was shot and killed. Instead of staying silent, Chadwick wrote a play about it. His first one, called Crossroads. That was the moment he discovered his calling. Not just to entertain, but to speak truth through art. After high school, Chadwick attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., a place known as the Mecca for Black culture, education, and empowerment. It was there that he met people who believed in him, including his mentor, actress Phylicia Rashad. She saw his potential, his quiet strength, and his desire to tell stories that mattered. Chadwick wasn't rich. He struggled to pay tuition. But when he was accepted into an acting program at Oxford in England, something magical happened. Phylicia Rashad reached out to one of her friends, and that friend was Denzel Washington. Denzel paid for Chadwick's trip to Oxford, a gesture of faith from one generation to the next. Years later, Chadwick would thank Denzel publicly, saying, "There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington." At that time, he didn't know that he was already being shaped into the hero he would one day become. After college, Chadwick faced what most dreamers face: rejection. He worked small roles in television shows, wrote scripts, and taught acting to make ends meet. But he never lost sight of why he was doing it. He didn't want fame. He wanted meaning. When he landed his first major role in a soap opera, he questioned the script because it portrayed a young Black man in a negative light. He stood up and asked the writers tough questions, and they fired him. But Chadwick didn't regret it. He said later, "Sometimes you have to lose a job to stand for what's right." That decision would define the rest of his life. He was an artist, yes, but more than that, he was a man of principle. Chadwick's breakthrough came when he portrayed Jackie Robinson in 42, the story of the first Black man to play Major League Baseball. It wasn't just a role, it was history repeating itself through art. He studied Robinson's every move, every emotion, every ounce of restraint. The movie wasn't just about baseball. It was about courage in the face of hate. And Chadwick played it with grace and strength that felt real, because it was. Soon after, he played another legend, James Brown, in Get On Up. And then Thurgood Marshall, the first Black Supreme Court Justice, in Marshall. Each role had a purpose. Chadwick was building something, a legacy of representation, pride, and power. In 2016, everything changed. Marvel introduced a new superhero in Captain America, Civil War, T'Challa, the Black Panther. When Chadwick first appeared on screen in that suit, audiences didn't just see a hero, they saw themselves. Black Panther wasn't just a movie. It was a movement. It was history wrapped in Afrofuturism, strength, and identity. For the first time, millions of kids around the world saw a superhero who looked like them. And at the center of it all stood Chadwick, calm, noble, powerful. What no one knew was that while filming that role, he was already fighting stage 3 colon cancer. Between surgeries and chemotherapy, he worked on Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, 21 Bridges, and Five Bloods. He never told the world. He never wanted sympathy. He wanted to finish what he started. He once said, "You have to cherish everything. You don't know how much time you have left." Behind the smile and success, Chadwick was fighting for his life. He would visit children battling cancer in hospitals, while he himself was going through chemo. There were days he could barely walk, yet he showed up on set, carrying the weight of pain with quiet grace. Even his closest co-stars didn't know what he was enduring. He said once in an interview, "When I stand before God at the end of my life, I hope I can say, I used everything you gave me." And that's exactly what he did. On August 28th, 2020, the world received the news. Chadwick Boseman had passed away at 43. The world was silent, shocked, broken. No one knew the pain he carried, the fight he fought, or the strength he showed behind closed doors. His death wasn't just a loss for Hollywood. It was a reminder of how one life can touch millions. He left behind a legacy far greater than fame, a legacy of purpose. In his final years, he gave the world heroes, hope, and humanity. Chadwick Boseman didn't just play heroes. He became one. He showed us that true power isn't in fame or strength, but in grace, discipline, and love. The world will remember him as Black Panther, but his real superpower was how he lived. He taught us that success isn't about living forever. It's about creating something that will. And even in death, Chadwick's voice echoes through generations, whispering one simple truth. The struggle itself is a part of the story. Wakanda Forever isn't just a movie line anymore. It's a tribute to a man who gave his everything in silence for something bigger than himself. Thank you for watching The Legacy Stories. If Chadwick Boseman's journey inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Because here, we keep the legacies of great people alive, one story at a time.